Hello. I just received my Chinese test results and I just cannot wait to see how I scored. You love studying Chinese and you just want to share your love of the language with everyone. What is the best way to prove that you have mastered this language? Get rid of all your possessions and live as a monk in the Shaolin Temple? Pretend to your friends that you've forgotten how to speak any language other than Chinese? Or maybe start a YouTube channel to prove to your parents that you didn't waste a third of your life learning a foreign language. No, you want to take the mother of all language tests, the one way you can prove to your friends that you are a cool dude. The Chinese Proficiency Test, also known as HSK. The HSK, which stands for 汉语水平考试, literally Chinese Proficiency Test, has been the only officially recognized Chinese test in mainland China since 1990. It is an international standardized test for non-native Chinese speakers. The first version, known as 1.0, really started in 1997 and featured 11 levels spread over 3 stages: 基础, beginner, 初中等, intermediate, and 高等, advanced. These tests focused on different abilities based on the level that was being tested. 基础 had 听力, listening, 语法, grammar, and 阅读, reading. 初中等 had 听力, listening, 语法, grammar, 阅读, reading, and 综合, comprehensive exercises. Finally, 高等 dropped the 语法 grammar component and instead added 作文 writing and 口试 oral to the mix. The second version, 2.0, was the result of 2 decades of whiners complaining that it was too hard. The top levels were notoriously hard, and some beginners also complained that the first levels were very hard to prepare for. Thus, the HSK would eventually be completely revised. In 2009, the new HSK came out, or 2.0, with 6 levels. Basically, the first level, HSK 1, only requires 150 words, while the 6th level requires one to know over 5,000 words. The gap between HSK 5 and 6 is particularly large as it jumps from 2,500 to 5,000 words. For HSK 2.0, the 口语 section has been completely removed and is actually featured in a separate test called HSKK for 汉语水平口语考试, or HSK Speaking Test, which itself is divided in 初级, 中级, and 高级. So you might be wondering, should I take the HSK exam? And if so, which level should I take? First of all, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I never took the first 5 levels and only did the HSK 6 because it was a requirement for my master's program at the Beijing Foreign Studies University. I'm also not a big fan of taking tests for the sake of taking tests, and also I'm a bit of a cheapskate, so I was really excited at the idea of taking what is more or less the same exam 6 times. Plus, to be honest, if you are learning Chinese just for fun and to be able to communicate with Chinese people and make friends, then the HSK certificate you'll receive probably won't be worth much for you, especially given that it usually expires after 2 years. That being said, there are many very good reasons for taking the HSK. For lower levels, it could be so you have access to more advanced Chinese courses that require you to demonstrate that you have a basic understanding of the language. Another good reason is to get more points on your Chinese work permit application. See, foreigners working in China are essentially divided into 3 categories: A, B, and C, depending on how valuable or essential they are. There are many factors in determining which category one will be put in, but thanks to a point-based system, there are ways to bump up your score and achieve that godlike status of A. One of the easiest ways to add points is by taking the HSK exam. You can add 1 point with HSK 1 and up to 5 points with HSK 5. And because the Type B permit, which is usually the lowest you'll want to aim for to make sure your visa application goes correctly, requires at least 60 points out of 100, every point you can add through this system is extremely valuable and could make the difference between getting accepted and rejected. One other reason to take the HSK is to gain access to certain programs in Chinese universities. Some, like mine, required you to have HSK 6 before you could even submit your application, while others will only ask for HSK 5. So really consider your needs and take the level that best matches your situation. However, if you really enjoy taking tests, are there really people like that out there? Then I guess you could take all 6 levels, especially if it's the kind of thing that keeps you motivated to keep learning.
Breaking news.
We have just learned that a 3.0 version of the beloved HSK is coming out soon. According to sources, we are back to more levels, 9 this time, spread over 3 stages: 初等, 中等, and 高等. These will include all 4 language components: listening, speaking, reading, writing, as well as translating, which I think is a great idea. The ability to translate, or at least be able to go back and forth between 2 different languages, is incredibly useful and, in my opinion, should be part of any language test. Some analysts have already been quick to point out that the higher level tests are certainly going to be mostly taken by Korean and Japanese students. Really? And so I have decided that while I do not have to take this test, and quite frankly do not want to take it for the honor of all other foreigners, I will take the highest level of this new HSK 3.0 to prove that we, non-Korean or Japanese foreigners, can also speak great Chinese.
1 week later.
And I got my results. This is exciting. Son of a...